What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. It is your boy Fatkat, of course, bringing you another one, man. What are we going to talk about today? Today is story time, all right? So back to one of my original the way I used to do my original videos. I said original, it's only been about 2 months, but then when I first got this car. Anyway, man, so today is story time. Now let me give you a warning, right? Let me give you a little warning. I am very long-winded. I get off topic a lot, and I'm a scatterbrain. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. So if you still watch the video, there's no need to complain about it later on because I've already told you, right? So but with that being said, man, I am going to try to keep this as short as possible. I don't want this to be dragged out too long. But anyway, so today's gonna be story time about all the issues that I went through with fixing my stripes on this car. If this is your first time watching this video or watching one of my videos, go back and watch some of the other videos as far as I think it was like titled Dodge Won't Fix My Car or things like that, man. But anyway, but basically what happened was when I first bought this car, and the first video that I put up with the car, by the way, that video is still doing very well, man. I think it has over 60 something thousand views, man, which, you know, I couldn't, you know, for me anyway, I would never expect that. But anyway, so great. Thank you for everybody who watched that video or continues to watch it. But anyway, so in that first video that I posted, there was a few people that commented and said, hey man, how come your stripes don't go all the way down, right? The stripes on the front of the car, right, down to the bottom bumper. And I was like, you know, so I went back and looked at the video, right, because I was inside, and I was like, that's a good question. So obviously, so I come look at my car, and I'm like, yeah, why don't my stripes go all the way down? So I'm making sure, like, I'm like, okay, well, let me check online, let me see what's going on. Maybe it's, for some reason, the 2019 is coming like that, I don't know, let me check. So of course, that wasn't the case, right, because that would be dumb. So they're supposed to go all the way down. Okay, so with that, I called the dealership back. Now, keep in mind, right, that the dealership that I bought this car, and I explained this before in another video as far as the story of how I got my car and everything else. So if you want to know the complete story about that, go back and watch that video, please. But anyway, so long story short, pretty much, I bought this car from another dealership than where this car was originally at. So the reason why that's important is because the dealership that you originally buy the car from, or the dealership that originally has the car, they're the ones who pretty much order it, right? So they're the ones that order with the different packages or whatever the case, and then they get sent to that dealership, right? Because they are the ones who basically purchased that car that way from the manufacturer. I ended up doing a dealer trade with another dealer and ended up getting this car, right? So with that, when I contacted the dealer, right, they were like, oh, okay, cool. First of all, I want to say that the dealership that I bought the car from, that did the dealer trade with, they did me good with the actual purchase of the car. So I don't want to, you know, just say that they were all around, you know, horrible or whatever the case. They did me well with the actual purchase of the car. Again, the whole story is, and I forget what the title of the video is, but it's in that video, man. Go back. It's one of my beginning videos as far as the story with this car and how I purchased it. Anyway, so I don't want to completely throw them under the bus, is basically what I'm trying to say. But when I contacted them about my stripes, at first they were like, oh, okay. Well, actually first they were like, oh, okay, we'll check into it, right? So then they had the customer service representative or whatever she was, they had her call me and say, hey, how about this? We will fix your stripes if you do that survey that we asked you to do and you give us all 10s. And you know, and then I was like, well, you know, and I did mention this before in one of my other videos, but I was like, that doesn't sit well with me, because I know you're not supposed to first of all, I know you're not supposed to ask for a specific, you know, numbers on your survey. Now you can ask me to do your survey, but you should not be asking me for specific numbers, 1. And 2, I feel like I was being blackmailed. You know, you do this for me and I do that for you. You know, and make sure you give us all 10s at that, and then we'll fix your car. And I'm like, I don't think so, man, because at the end of the day, I bought this car the way that it was on the sticker, and the stripes was on the sticker, you know? So it wasn't like you guys added it for me as a favor or anything else. This is the way that I purchased the car, or at least I intended to purchase the car from the factory, right? Because these were on, it was just done on the factory. Excuse me, my battery just died, so I had to change the battery real quick. So anyway, so where I left off at, yeah, so basically I just wanted to buy the car the way it was intended, or at least I wanted to, for them to fix the car the way it was intended, you know, for me to purchase the car, for anybody to purchase the car from the way it was supposed to come from the factory, right? That's it. So normally, so I'm thinking, you know, this should be a quick thing, man. It should have been literally, okay, we'll order it for you and we'll get it on and that's it. So anyway, so when I basically we went back and forth for a little bit. They understood that I wasn't happy about that, and then they finally just said, okay, fine, we'll go ahead and fix it for you. We'll be in contact with you soon. Well, come to find out, they didn't contact me again, but they ended up having a third party, right, contact me. So I was like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. You know, I did think it was kind of weird. Oh, first of all, by the way, the customer service representative lady, she said, remember, these people, this is at the dealership, the customer service person at the dealership, she said, well, how about this? You know, after I told them all that, basically that, you know, that's not right, and so on and so forth, she said, well, why don't you just open up a claim with Dodge, you know, Dodge Chrysler, and then just go that way then. I was like, okay, cool, I would definitely do that. And that's exactly what I did. I opened up a claim with corporate, and I also put a complaint on their ass as well, because at the end of the day, I was like, I don't think you should be doing that. You know, I was like, I was like, does this sit right with you guys, or do you think this sounds right? Where they're basically telling me they, you know, they won't fix the stripes, or not that they won't fix the stripes, but they'll fix the stripes after I do the survey for them, and on top of that, give them more tens. So the lady at corporate, you know, on the phone, whatever, she was like, oh no, hell no, that is not cool, whatever. So she opened up a complaint with them and whatever. Anyway, so with that, so fast forward again, so the third party company calls me, right? Meanwhile, like I said, I've already opened the complaint, but they were still trying to do it. They were like, all right, fine, whatever. They were still trying to do it. Actually, no. Again, I can tell you I'm a scatterbrain, man. So I know, and this is 2 months ago. So no. So the actual person, the internet person that I was dealing with, one of two, because I was dealing with 2 different internet people, and again, it's not all bad. They were actually pretty nice. The lady's name was Amy. There was 2 Amy's actually that I was dealing with from the internet, my actual salesperson, and then the other lady that I never met. But she called me back and she was like, okay, what's going on? So I told her, and she was like, okay, fine, you know, we're just gonna try to make this right. We'll take care of it for you. So then that's when they contacted the third party, and the third party ended up contacting me like a day or 2 later, right? Now, again, I was never like super like comfortable with the third party company, because the lady that was talking to me, she sounded like she really, 1, didn't know what was going on, 2, she sounded very unsure of herself. There was this dude that was always talking to her in the background, like telling her what to say, and I'm just like, why don't you talk to that guy? Like, why are you the middle person? But you know, anyway, so they called me once and they said, hey, so we're the company, you know, whatever, Dodge contacted us, we're gonna try to do your stripes. Okay, fine. Then she asked me, what kind of stripes are they? I said, they're carbon stripes. Okay, do they have a texture to them? I don't know, it depends on what you define as texture. Okay, well, what color are they? I told her, and she says, okay, all right, we're gonna try to see something, we'll call you back. Okay, fine. So the next day, they call me back. Hey, so, asking me all these bunch of questions again, right? So at this point, I'm like, I don't know what you guys are trying to do. Well, actually, I asked her, I was like, where are you getting these stripes from, right? As a matter of fact, what they wanted to do was they wanted to come meet me so that they could see the stripes, see the car, see the stripes, and then basically go from there, right? So the next day, the guy who was, I guess, talking in the background, he was supposed to come meet me. He didn't make it for whatever reason. He didn't make it. So they called me back that night, that evening. Remember, this is the next day now. They're calling back that evening to say, hey, sorry, couldn't make it, so on and so forth. Can we reschedule for tomorrow? I said, okay, sure. So again, but before we hang up, can I ask you, you know, she's asking all these questions again. And I'm like, where are you getting these stripes from? Because at the end of the day, I don't know, you know, what you're trying to find or whatever. I was like, are you trying to like match it with something that you have in your shop? Or are you actually like getting these from Dodge? Because I told her, I said, wherever Dodge gets their stripes from, or whoever does their stripes, that's what I want. I want the stripes that come straight from Dodge or whatever company that they use. And she's like, well, this is 3M. And I'm like, well, is that the company that Dodge uses? I'm not, I don't. Again, so I'm like, wait, man, what's going on here? So again, you know, again, the guy in the background is like telling her, right, what to say. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I was like, I don't really feel comfortable with this. So then the last straw was, she was like, well, and you said it has a texture on it, right? I'm like, I don't know. And she goes, okay, well, do you know how long the stripes are on the bottom? I said, no. She said, well, can you get that for me? Can you measure it for me? I'm like, what? I'm like, wait, I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, right? I said, look, I don't know what you're trying to do as far as you're trying to match these up with, like, again, you're trying to match these up with something you got, you're trying to cut them, because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure if you were to call Dodge, and you, corporate, whoever it is that, you know, that you get the parts from, and they say, hey, look, I need the carbon stripes. I'm sure it has a part number because it was on the sticker. So I'm sure it has a part number because the dealership, when they added that to the package, there had to be a little part number that said, add that to this car in the package, right? Had to be, right? So I'm like, I'm pretty sure if you were to call Dodge and say, hey, look, I need this part number, right? For whatever, I need this part number, whatever. I was like, I'm pretty sure these stripes come pre-cut. So you wouldn't need like all this extra information that you're trying to get, because they come pre-cut. I'm sure they do. And I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. I will do, and then I told her, actually, then I told her, I said, look, I'm not upset at you because I know you're just the middleman. I understand that. The dealership is putting you in this bad position. You know, you really don't know what's going on, and they put you in this position, and you're just trying to call a customer, and you know, cause she could, well, we're just trying to, so I'm not sure if the dealership, told her about me or said, hey man, this guy's a hothead. I don't know what happened, but they were like, what, you know, cause anytime that I was getting remotely like a little upset, oh, we're just trying to help you out, so we're just trying to help you out. Like, that's the way she was sounding, and I'm like, I understand that. So that's what I told her. Look, I understand it's not on you. You're just the middleman. You know, I understand you're just trying to do what the dealership told you, but at the end of the day, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel right. And I was like, as a matter of fact, I will do the dealership's job, and I will get the part number for you. And she said, okay. That was the last time that I talked to that lady, by the way. I called the dealer. I called corporate, right? I said, hey, look, what is the? By this time, I already had like a person that I was dealing with all the time. That was a part that was assigned my case or whatever. So I said, hey, let me ask you a question. Could you find the part numbers of, you know, certain parts of the car and this and that? And she was like, sure. So I said, the carbon stripes. I need the part number for the carbon stripes. Man, she looked up, I guess they had a whole list of things, right? She's like, okay, hold on. So she went on a computer. She's like, yeah, there's like a whole bunch of things that I guess for every single part that came on that car, because she had my VIN number. So everything that came on that car, she had pretty much. So it took her like 2 minutes, man. And she was looking through it, because you know, every single thing is a part, like every single thing. So anyway, so it took her like 2 minutes. She scoured through the list, and she was, oh, here goes carbon stripes. And she gave me the part number. She gave it to me. I went back online, I Googled it, just to make sure it matched up, and boom, there you go. Sure enough, carbon stripes. For all the different kind of stripes that you can get onto the Dodges, they have a part number. So I looked up that specific part number, and it came up with the carbon stripes for Dodge. Oh, look at that, surprise, right? Anyway, so that was the last time I talked to them. I ended up calling another dealership, right? The one that I ended up going to, Firkins. I ended up calling them and said, hey, look, I opened up a, you know, I was like, I have a problem. I need to get these stripes done, so on and so forth. I didn't tell them anything about the other dealership, right? Because like I said, I'm not in the business of throwing anybody under the bus. I'm not. But I would like for you to do right and do your job pretty much, right? But I'm not in the business of throwing anybody under the bus. So at the end of the day, I called the other dealership and I said, hey, I got this, I bought this car from another dealership. but it didn't come complete, basically, so on and so forth. I told him the whole story. But I told him, you know, what I needed done. And I was like, I just need the bottom piece of the stripes done, man, that's it. And he was like, wait, so where'd you buy the car? And I was like, I told him. And he was like, well, he's like, wait, man. He's like, I gotta double check, man, because he was like, how come the other dealership didn't want to do it for you? He's like, there must be more to the story. So then I said, okay, well, do you want to know the story? You must have time. I'll tell you the story. So I told him the story, right? And he goes, oh yeah, man, that's not right. I said, exactly. I was like, I was trying to lead them out of it. I didn't want to throw them under the bus, but this is what's going on. He was like, okay. He was like, all right, man. He's like, so you opened up a claim? I said, yeah. He said, do you have the claim number? I said, yes. He said, okay, let me call. He's like, let me just call Dodge, Chrysler, or whatever, and let me make sure that everything is good to go. They're gonna take care of it, because, you know, obviously they want to make sure who's gonna be paying for everything. But he just wanted to make sure everything's gonna be covered and everything was good to go. I said, yeah, no problem, man. A couple days later, maybe like 2 days later, 2 or 3 days later, he called me back. Actually, I think I called him because he didn't call me back, but I called him and said, hey, did you hear anything? He was like, oh yeah, okay, we heard it, this and that, so on and so forth. I'm just waiting for, I forgot what he was waiting for, but he was waiting for something. And then he was like, from there, we'll go ahead and order it, and then I'll let you know when we get it. Okay, cool, no problem. A couple days after that, right, because nothing with them happens fast. So maybe 2 or 3 days after that, they finally called me back. He said, okay, look, everything is good to go. We're gonna go ahead and order it, and then we'll let you know when it comes in. So then he, actually like a week after that, man, he said it took a while for it to come in. About a week after that, a week and a half almost, he called me back. He said, okay, we got him. I go down to that dealership, and they were the wrong stripes. So the stripes, it was the bottom piece only, but it was only for, it was for a Challenger. So he said off the VIN, he said they ordered off the VIN number, but for some reason it came in off a Challenger. Which leads me to say, I don't know what happened with this car at the factory, man. I said it I mentioned it in one of my other videos. I don't know what happened with this car in the factory, but at Unique Rides, the people that do all of my custom work, right? When they were trying to pull the VIN number, when they were trying to pull the color, right? Because I body matched the spoiler to this car, right? And also, as you guys can see, my brake calipers are body match painted to the car as well. So when he was trying to get the color for this car, he was saying that off the VIN number, it was coming back as a blue, as B5 blue. And I was like, that's weird. He was like, yeah, man. He's like, every time we typed it in a couple times, we were like, maybe we're just typing it in wrong. He said, every time we typed it in, it came in as blue. So I was like, that's odd. But then he said the paint coat on the door came back as this color. So he's like, okay, that must be the right one. So then they went ahead and got the paint and everything else. But anyway, so yeah, so that's weird. And then on top of that, the dealership is saying that when they ordered the stripes off the VIN number of this car, it came back, or they sent them Challenger stripes. So I don't know what's going on with this car, man. I don't know what happened or what's going on or what they got in the system, in the computer, whatever the case. But I don't know, man. It seems to be all off. Now I would say when I did put, actually I got to go back and check for sure with the insurance. But they did say, you know, Scat Pack. I don't remember if they said Charger Scat Pack. I know they said a Dodge, you know, Scat Pack. I said, yeah. So I gotta make sure that they have Charger and not Challenger Scat Pack, because that'll be kind of crazy. But anyway, but other than that, man, so long story short, man, they had to send the bag or whatever, but they had to order the right ones, which just came in. Like I said, this was last week. I didn't have time to go up there until I think Friday or Saturday or whatever it was. So it took about another week, about a week and a half for me to actually go up there, and they put them on, man. So you guys seen the video previous to this one is of that dealership putting them on. I can't say enough good things about Firkins. Like I said, they were kind of weary at first because, you know, they just were kind of like, I don't know what's going on with their story, you know, something seems kind of off. But once they verified everything, they were like, yep, no problems. They had no problems with helping me out. And like I said, they went ahead and put the stripes on there. They even compensated me a little bit of, you know, a little bit of money, to be honest, just for my wasted time and my wasted gas and everything else, man, going up there the first time, and just for me having to deal with this for so long. So they compensated me some money on top of that, you know, just out of the kindness, I guess, kindness of the hearts, and I guess just trying to, you know, throw a little bit of throw a little bit of good light on top of all this crap that's been going on for the last 2 months. So anyway, so that's pretty much the story, what happened with the stripes and why it took so long. Like I said, I didn't, you know, the first dealership, or the dealership that I actually bought this car from, they did well with the purchase, you know, the selling me the car, but they were just kind of shady when they came back to actually fixing the car and fixing the stripes, because they wanted to make sure they had those good, you know, reviews. And then, like I said, that didn't sit right with me, because at the end of the day, it shouldn't be a quid pro quo. If you don't know what that means, look that up. Quid pro quo, right? Anyway, so that's not the way you should be running your business. And like I said, I told her, I said, once you guys fix your stripes, I got no problems with going back and giving you guys your 10 stars or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you're not gonna hold my stripes ransom, you know, until they get fixed. It's not gonna happen. So anyway, I think I'm gonna cut it here. I don't wanna make it too long. Like I said, I'm long-winded, man. That's just the way I am. I've always been like that. It is what it is. So if you watched for this long, man, I greatly appreciate it. I know it's kind of a dry, boring story, man, but you know, a lot of people were asking me, you know, what was going on with them, and I didn't want to keep doing, you know, little updates here and there every time that they were calling me or whatever the case. I just didn't want to fill my channel with drama of what was going on. So I just wanted to make one video, even if it was gonna be a long one video, just to tell everything that happened, and then we could pretty much, you know, put that away, sweep it under the rug, or put it away, put it to bed, and that's it, man. So now we can move on and keep on enjoying this car. So other than that, man, I greatly appreciate it. Appreciate you guys for checking out the video, checking out the channel. If this is your first time, man, I greatly appreciate. First of all, welcome. I want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed and commented and liked and all the videos. Everybody who's supporting thus far, I greatly appreciate it, man. It's not going unnoticed. Trust me. Other than that, man, make sure you guys comment. Make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you guys subscribe, and then make sure you guys hit that notification bell, man. So we're gonna go ahead and put the next mod on this car. If you don't know, the way I'm modding this car is, I have to mention every video because you never know who, you know, obviously there's always new people watching. But the way I'm modding, by the way, this is Christine, right? Should have said that a long time ago. But this car is affectionately named Christine. And the way I'm modding Christine is, every single time I hit a certain subscriber milestone that I put out, we're gonna do another mod to the car. So the one for 2,600 subscribers, I know we're past that now, but for the ones that, for the milestone of 2,600, excuse me, for the milestone of 2,600 subscribers, I just ordered that. Actually, I already have it. If you guys see my last video, you will see that I already got that, and we're just waiting to put it on. So we got that mod, and we're gonna put it on, and then from there we'll set the next milestone, and then we'll get the next thing from there, right? So anyway, other than that, man, I greatly appreciate you guys for checking, you know, all you guys for checking in, all you guys for watching the video, and all you guys that are commenting down below, man, I greatly appreciate it. I try to actually I do respond, not try. You know, I do respond to everybody that comments down below. And also, if you got any other questions, man, if you don't want to spam the YouTube for whatever reason, hit me up on IG, man. It's going to be on the bottom of the screen. It's also in the description. Hit me up on IG, and I pretty much respond to everybody there as well, man. Anybody else hit me up can attest to that for sure. Anyway, other than that, I greatly appreciate it, and like I always say, we'll see you guys on the next one, man. Later.